There's this word we hear a lot, holy. And let's be honest, it can feel a little heavy, right? Maybe even a bit judgmental. So in this explainer, we're going to take that word, strip it all the way back, and see what the source text actually says it means. It might not be what you think. Okay, let's jump in.
So, let me ask you, when you hear holy, what's the first thing that pops into your head? For a lot of us, it's maybe stained glass or some impossible standard of perfection, that feeling that you just can't quite measure up. It can feel really distant, maybe even intimidating. But what if that's not the whole story?
Okay, this is where our journey really kicks off. On one side, you've got our common ideas: flawless, judgmental, out of touch, rule-based. But then you look at the source text, and it paints a totally different picture. It talks about being set apart, loving, relational, and transformative. See the difference? This isn't about being perfect. It's about having a unique and special purpose.
To really get a grip on holiness, we've got to start at the source. And according to the text, this isn't some idea that people came up with. No, it's a core part of who God is. It's God's very nature. This is one of the very first times we're introduced to the idea. In this moment from the book of Acts, Moses is told the ground he's on is holy. Why? Simply because God is there. Think about that. It's not about the dirt itself, it's about how God's presence changes things, how it sets something or someone apart from the ordinary. So that brings us right to the core definition. At its absolute root, holy just means to be set apart for a specific divine purpose. It's about being unique, distinct from the everyday. And notice what's not in that definition. It's a word of purpose, not of perfection. And you see this idea just woven all through the text. Here in John's Gospel, Jesus actually calls God the Holy Father. He's highlighting that this set-apart quality is totally fundamental to who God is. But okay, an abstract idea of a set-apart God can still feel pretty far away, can it? So how does this big concept become real for us? Well, the source text points straight to Jesus as the one who makes holiness something we can actually see and understand. What's wild is who says this. According to Mark's gospel, it's an unclean spirit that recognizes this quality in Jesus, shouting out that he's God's Holy One. This isn't just a fancy title, it's a deep recognition of his unique, set-apart nature. And this right here is a game changer. Instead of holiness being about separating yourself from the messiness of life, Jesus shows us a holiness that dives right into it. He connects with people right where they are, proving that being set apart doesn't mean being kept away. Now here's where this story takes this incredible, radical turn. This divine quality, this set-apartness, was never meant to be exclusive to God. It becomes an invitation that's extended to all of us. I mean, look at this. Right here in the letter to the Romans, the author isn't just talking to people who follow a set of rules. He calls them people who are called to be holy. It's not just something they do, it's a core part of their identity. They're his holy people. And we see this idea repeated to the community in Corinth, but listen to the powerful two-part dynamic here. They are made holy, that's a gift, something done for them, and they are called to be holy. That's a lifelong journey, a vocation they're invited to live into. Then the text pulls out this absolutely massive metaphor. A temple was the ultimate holy place, right? It was the space set apart for God's presence. And here, the writer says that you, the community, you as a person, you are that sacred space. Just let that sink in for a second. You are God's temple. That's not just a nice thought. It's a radical reframing of human value. It suggests that every single person has the capacity to be a sacred space, a carrier of the divine. So if people are called to be holy, what in the world does that actually look like in real everyday life? Well, the source texts don't leave us hanging. They move from the what to the how, and they lay out a pretty practical path. It all starts on the inside, with a shift in your perspective. The letter to the Romans kind of breaks it down into 3 steps. First, you recognize that your old way of living is in the past. Second, you start to see yourself as alive to God, right here and now. And third, you intentionally offer yourself, your actions, for this new set-apart purpose. In that internal shift, it naturally leads to external actions. This isn't just a random list of rules. These are the practical, real-world results of a set-apart life. It's about how you love, how you give, how you speak, and how you act with integrity.
And this quote from 2 Corinthians is so important because it makes it clear this isn't a one and done kind of thing. It's a process. It's an ongoing journey of becoming, of continually aligning both our inner thoughts and our outer actions with that holy calling.
So, why? Why do any of this? Why be set apart? If it isn't about getting a perfect score, then what's the ultimate goal of being holy?
And this is it. This is the moment where it all comes together. The text in Ephesians connects all the dots. We are chosen to be holy in love. Love is the whole context. It's the environment, and it's the ultimate purpose for which we are set apart. You could say holiness is the path, but love is the destination. So that leaves us with this one last really transformative question. If being holy simply means being set apart for the purpose of love, loving God and loving others, how does that completely change our old, heavy ideas about that word? It flips it from an impossible standard we can never reach into a profound invitation we can accept every single day.